So here's the underside of the E46 M3. Now it's had its sprayable seam sealer and the top coat applied, which in this case is an OEM version, or our version of the E-coat colourings. That's dried overnight, and we've come in the next morning and it's all dry, so we've been able to start fitting the new BMW genuine brake pipes. It's looking really good, very nice, smooth, textured finish, also quite thin as well. We don't have to have a lot of floppy texture anymore, especially a lot less than the factory actually. So yeah, in our opinion it looks a lot neater. Obviously this is only this good just due to the preparation standards and the corrosion removal that this customer specified when we replaced these brackets, otherwise there was tons of corrosion on there. There's the left Redish V2 reinforcement plate and the spacer plates. Took out the corrosion and treated it up around the spring perch area. Also got our stitch welds that are showing through where we held the RACP panel to the chassis legs inside the car and to the boot floor panel over there. A couple of stitch welds down in that corner as well. There was lots of corrosion here, remember, where the fuel tank had been rubbing. And what I should say as well is this is totally dry, nothing at all on your hands. It doesn't come off. You can wash this, jet wash it. Dirt doesn't really stick to it that well. It is a very good finish, so you can keep cleaning these year on year and not expect to have any problems. Brackets replaced. A little bit of stitch welding done just there on the rear trailing arm pocket. More corrosion taken out of that spring perch area. There's the right rear reinforcement plate, and we've got new studs here, here and here, so the clipping points are all correct. A little bit of extra strength welding in that corner. Here's the BMW textured finish, a little bit thicker than ours. There's BMW, and then this is ours, a little bit thinner, but still gives a texture and rolls around the welds nicely. You can still see the weld lines. We don't hide anything here, but you can see that it's well protected but not a thick seam sealer. And then that's the left rear reinforcement plate. These are our new holes where we get our cavity waxing ones in the internal section. Taking off the seam sealer on the chassis legs to make sure those spot welds were good, which they are. Carried out 3 plug welds up there. Also some strength welding in the corner, and then done a continuous stitch where these 2 panels are separate all the way along. You can see them there and there. We've done a join line all the way along, smoothed it and finished it so it looks original. Taking out corrosion up on the spring perch as well, shock absorber turret, sorry. Coated that, and we've done a half blend up into the wheel arch. No full wheel arch was specified on this vehicle. So now we're putting the genuine BMW brake pipes back, along with the metal clippings, metal clip points, new joiner up there as well. And we've got a natural blend just falling off halfway through the fuel tank area on the seat panel. There's our finished texture here, and that's the original E-coat colour that we're trying to match. So looks quite good. Depending on what angle you look at it at, and from a distance, you won't really see much at all. One new stud point here as well, because that one had broken off a bit like these ones and those ones. So we put a new one there. That's our workshop cover. That gets changed back for the customer's one. We just don't like painting over the customer's one, so we paint over our own. And then we got the battery tray as well, which has come out really nicely. This was badly corroded, quite thin, as you remember I talked about a few times, and we had corrosion up on the back of that metal bracket for the exhaust rubber mount. But that's come out well. It didn't ever go through, so there's no holes in it. Even though it is quite thin, it's still going to be structurally sound. And we took the corrosion off around these studs as well, and then recoated them with etch primer, high build primer, sprayable seam sealer, and top coat colour, which is E-coat version. So that's looking nice and will be protected for years to come. So shortly we'll be going on to finish the front internal welding up inside the car, up in those front MIG weld mounts, putting some new stitch MIG welds in there, and then we'll be cavity waxing later on.